Hello everyone, it's me again. Yes, I've decided to record another video to my YouTube channel, and today I was thinking about this like the whole day, and I was just so kind of really, I've been wanting to record this video to talk about this topic for quite a long time, and now here I am talking about this topic. So what's the topic? Basically, I think you're familiar with this topic, and I think you've heard this like million times before, and I think you'll know what I will talking about what I'll be talking about. So it's about obsessions. We all have obsessions. Sometimes it can be food. Sometimes it can be something very, very, very bad, and you know what I mean by that. Some people are obsessed with very, very bad things, and also it can be things that are basically very unhealthy, that always bring us harm, but we don't even realize it. And even if we do, we kind of try not to pay attention to that. So about these things in general. So what I want to say, first of all, I don't want to look like the smartest person in the entire world, because you know that I'm not. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna pretend that I know many things, or I'm not gonna pretend that, I didn't used to have those obsessions and I still don't have them. I have them. I really do have some strange obsessions, and I used to have like a lot worse than what I have right now. So basically, I remember in the past, everyone knows that I used to be a very fat person. I'm not gonna hide this because, duh, it's obvious. So I used to be a very fat person, and my obsession was basically food, right? So, and like food for me, it wasn't just something that I was consuming, it was more than that. Food was something that I like would do all the time. Whenever I get bored, whenever I got bored, or whenever I was alone, I would always just eat something. I would go like to my refrigerator, I would open it, and I would grab something. And that was totally normal. And even if it was like in the evening, that was totally normal for me, because like at that time, of course, like I didn't count calories. I was just eating what I was eating, and I wasn't even realizing that I was harming myself, that I was making myself feel even worse. But we have this thing called dopamine. Everyone has it. Everyone talks about this like on a daily basis, and it's such a popular thing. And dopamine actually plays a huge role in our lives, I guess. So, dopamine sometimes it can be harmful, but most of the times it's not. It just really depends on our own use of it, if that makes any sense, if you know what I mean. So basically, a lot of people, they are already used to, kind of enjoying and just, having fun at the moment, but they don't think about the long term thing. They don't really want to acknowledge that, I guess, and they don't really want to kind of, take accountability, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think it's called this, you know, when you enjoy something at the moment, when something, seems so, oh my god, so enjoyable and everything, but in general it's not, right? So so basically it's like very frustrating actually to understand. So like in my case, I knew that food was harming me. I knew that I was consuming too much food, and that I'm just gonna be like very fat. But at the time, while I was consuming that food, I wasn't thinking about being fat, or I wasn't thinking about the long-term consequences. I was just consuming like non-stop. Like literally, I would consume so much food like you can't even imagine. And then after like so many years, not so many years, like I was a fat person like a year ago. So yeah, like in a year, I guess, I've already understood a lot of things, and I've come to terms with that, and I think I've developed a very good habit. First of all, now I'm not that fat. I mean, I'm thin, as you can see, and my habit is that even if I eat something, I eat like in a very not small, but probably um in a middle-sized plate, you know what I mean? It's not that big. And also I only put uh I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, wait. I only eat one time, if you know what I mean. So like if I finish my food, I don't go and put like another plate, another like, spoon or something. So yeah, I always just eat one time and that's it. And I don't even mean like one time in a day, one time in the moment. For example, if I'm having lunch, I just eat what I have in front of me, and if it's finished, so I'm not going to grab another one, or I'm not going to kind of add something more to that. So I think that's a very good habit, right? So basically, when we talk about obsessions, it's so easy to kind of say, oh, that person is obsessed with that person is obsessed with that, but it's also about our own psychology. Like sometimes it's so complicated, sometimes it's just you can't even if you try your best, even if you do everything in your power, it seems so inevitable, and it's like it's very hard to control, and sometimes you just like, okay, I don't really have time to control it. I don't really have that strength, stamina, and I think I don't really have that power. Like I'm basically powerless. I'm not capable of controlling my lust and everything. So yeah, I think it's just so crucial to understand that we do this basically to ourselves. We are the reason why we are fat. We are the reason why we are lazy, and we are also again the reason why we always hate ourselves, because we do so many harm to ourselves without us even realizing it sometimes. And I think that's what we need to acknowledge more, and that's what we need to focus on more, because I mean, I do understand that it's hard to control, like to control the way you consume things, to control the way you talk, the way you act. It's hard, but I do believe that we are the only saviors of our lives. No one will help us get better, no one will help us develop that good habit to kind of stop doing this. So what I mean by all these things is that if you're obsessed over something, if you like really really kind of already used to doing something, you just need to understand that at the moment it may seem so enjoyable, it may seem so amusing, so amazing, like it just seems like you are doing the best thing in the entire world. But in fact, in reality, if you look at this from another angle, it's so bad for your health. And one part of yourself knows that it's bad, and another part of yourself, it also knows, but it also doesn't really care about that. It doesn't give a crap about that. So I think it's important to be at least I'm not saying that you need to kind of be super control. You don't have to be like, you know what I wanted to say. Oh god, I speak too fast, that's why I forget so many things. You need to understand that it's you who do the harm to yourself, and you shouldn't blame other people for that. You shouldn't be like, oh god, why these things are happening to me, why this, why that, because you are the reason of everything that has happened to you. I mean, at least yourself. I mean, your image, your face, because I think we are used to blaming other people. We always blame them for our own problems, for our own inadequacies, for our own like, kind of you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a troublesome situation, and it's kind of very challenging to control. So it was very hard for me to grapple with. It was something very hard for me to grapple with, and I've been basically like managing with it my whole life. But what I want to say is that you have to be brave enough. You have to be smart enough to understand that what you do right now, it will definitely affect your future. For example, like when we are kids, those kids who are always outside, those kids who don't do anything, even if they are like told on a daily basis that they have to do the things that their parents say, they still don't do it because they don't think that it's important to them. They don't think that it's something that they should be doing. Instead, they go outside, they have fun there, and then they just come home and then they take everything for granted. They neglect their parents, they neglect everything that they have. And those kids in the future, they're gonna stay the same because we basically develop from the day we born, born. So yeah, those habits that we develop as kids, they will stay with us for a very long time. And believe me or not, it's so challenging to manage with them. It's so challenging to control them because you know that it's harming you. I'm saying it again. You know that it's harming you, but you still do it without you even sometimes realizing it. So yeah, what I want to say is that when you do something for a long time, it becomes your habit, right? And when you're always obsessed with something, when you always do something harmful to yourself, and it has already become your obsession, you just have to understand that you need to cope with that somehow. Because if you don't, you're just gonna end up doing it for the rest of your life, and you're gonna get worse, 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 and worse. So the main idea of everything that I was telling you right now, it's that what we do right now, I mean, what we think is enjoyable, what we think is great right now, in the long term, it's gonna eat us. In the long term, we're just gonna be so upset that we did this thing. We're just gonna blame ourselves so many times. We're gonna be so harsh on ourselves, and I think that's why it is super important to understand it. And then when you're gonna have those days when you will sit in your home, in your room, right, and you'll just think about all the stuff that you've done so far, all the things that you've accomplished, and you're like, why the hell did I even do those things? I mean, what was the reason? And then you blame yourself. You say, oh, I couldn't control myself, I let my I was just doing something enjoyable at the moment that seemed enjoyable again. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. It's just it has been bothering me for quite a long time, and also like I'm telling you this from my own experience because again, it's very challenging. I'm not saying that it's easy, but at the end of the day, we are the only saviors of our lives. We have to be brave enough. We have to be independent. We have to be, you know, kind of cautious about what we do. We have to understand what we do and what we don't do. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say because I like whenever I have like thoughts in my head, I need to kind of, express them. I need to tell about them like immediately, explicitly without, kind of stopping because if I stop, I'm gonna forget everything. So it has already been 13 minutes. Thank you for those who watched till the end. I hope you guys learned something, and I'm with you. For example, if you have some, you know, strange obsessions, if you are obsessed with something so much that you can't let it go, whether it is a person or just, a thing or something else, I just want you to understand that it's hard and you don't have to, kind of always bend out of shape for that. You just need to calm down and you need to understand what's going on in your life. So I hope I was able to understand, and you know that every cloud has a silver lining. Everything is gonna be fine. Believe in yourself and always know that you can change yourself if you want to. You can actually change. Because I remember I also used to not believe in this. I used to be like, huh, such a like lots of a crap. It's not right. Like it's like a lots of crap, but eventually I've understood as I've gained so much knowledge and experience, I've understood that it's totally important to believe in yourself, believe in your own capabilities, in your own abilities. So yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be totally fine. You just have to understand and you have to cope with your problems on your own and try to fix them as soon as possible while they're not bringing you so much harm as they will in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to explain a lot of things, and yeah, thank you. Goodbye.